90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After, Season 9, Episode 12. Mama Mia, here we go again. If this wasn't a bad episode, I want to call it a filler, but it was worse than a filler episode with bad players, bad actors, and actresses. But let's get into it, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall. A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers and my nieces and nephews and all the y'all who have been here through the long haul. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for auntie advice. Sweet old auntie. It's time for auntie advice. Oh, yeah. It's time for auntie advice. Welcome back, everybody. This is Auntie, and I am in my PJs to give you this review of 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After, Season 9, Episode 12. Mama Mia, here we go again. So, the first couple that I want to talk about is a Darcey. Darcey, of course, is with her husband, child, and they are having an anniversary party. I don't know what this was, what this is, but they were having like a little anniversary party and stuff, right, y'all? Hi, everybody. Hold on. Let me stop and say hi. Hello there, Tanya. Thanks for being first. Hi, Boo Boo. Hello there, Yazelle. Hey, Q Sweets. Connie, Poodle Mom. I've been missing you, Boo. Where you been? Okay, we have Carmen Alt, Elizabeth. Hi, Boo. Hey there, Cynthia. Hi, Ray Della, moderator. Okay, who else we got? Did I say hi to you, Yolanda? I gotta say hi again. Okay. Hello there, Lania, cat lover. Hey, hello there, Jenny. I think I got everybody. Oh, didn't get Tanya. Hey there, Tanya. Okay. She, was preparing to go to their party with the family and the friends downtown to the neighborhood. He has talked to her repeatedly about what she should and should not be wearing around his family. Yet Darcey makes a decision that she's going to wear a wedding dress, honey, with her boobs hanging out. He was like, she dressed inappropriately, but let's go. Her sister, of course, Stacy, comes in with her husband. And, prior to the party, they had to learn a dance that would be done at the ceremony or the party, to get together, the family meet and greet. I don't know. But they end up, learning this dance and stuff like that. And of course, they're slinging around all of that blonde extension. Welcome. Just 1 second, y'all. Welcome to the family. Welcome the money. Okay. You was with me before, weren't you? Welcome back, boo. Welcome back. If y'all have not already done so, please welcome the money to the membership. Welcome. So, basically, they go to the party and everything. And before she goes in the door, they put a red veil over top of her head and some flowers. Georgie had to look it up himself. He didn't know what it meant. She goes into the party, and, Stacy went in first, and the family was kind of looking at Stacy because Her and Darcey are twins, and Stacy assumed that they thought that she was Darcey, which is why she got the cold reception that she got. And I think that they're just looking at them in a fishbowl, right? They probably never have seen that much Botox in their daggone lives. Okay. Oh, congratulations! Did you get married? Congrats! So Darcey comes in, of course, she's exposed, and it's just complete and total silence. Like, they end up partying, Darcey gets drunk and throws up outside of the car. That's what happened. Darcey gets drunk because she wants to drink all this wine and can't hold it down. These are the goofiest women. Did y'all know? And maybe I should do nope, I'm gonna do a video on it and let y'all know what is going on with Darcey and Stacy. Okay. Have a wonderful time. Send me some pictures. DM me some pictures. It just was atrocious. It's so embarrassing. Um, I find it embarrassing. I don't know if anybody else finds it embarrassing, but I absolutely find it embarrassing that Darcey is acting like this at her big age. And she's got, they got kids. And it's just, they a mess. They like little kids themselves, just have not grown up whatsoever. The next couple I want to talk about, who else was on here? Um, Jasmine and Matt. Y'all know when I stop and pause like that, I'm wondering whether or not I should say something. And Matt don't like Jasmine. I think that Jasmine, and this is just my personal opinion, y'all. I'm just going to be as honest as possible. And it may shock y'all about what I'm about to say out my mouth. But I think that Jasmine is a beard for Matt. That's just my humble opinion. Just kind of watching him and listening to him and the way that he interacts with Jasmine, it doesn't seem that Matt is as in love with Jasmine as he is acting as he is. I really truly believe that he is a beard. She's a beard. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just don't think that, I don't know, y'all. It's just my opinion. It's just something I'm picking up from Matt. So they're down in Florida. Jasmine has still not told her family that she is pregnant. Kiki Kiki said, Auntie, I ran here to tell you I agree she is a beard. Oh my God, I'm glad I'm not the only one that thinks that. Because something ain't right about Matt. Okay, it's just saying, I don't care how much he works out and tries to act like he's a macho man. It's just something about him. I don't know if it's his gestures, the way he looks at Jasmine. He doesn't look at Jasmine like a man who is in love with a woman. I think that he wanted this competition with Gino. I think that Jasmine came on to him. When she was working out at the gym and he just went for it. And now he is trapped, right, with the baby by Jasmine, because I'm sure he did not see that coming. And he basically alluded to the fact that he did not see that coming, right? He said that he was in this little, calling himself being in this little throuple relationship. And now here it is that he's a whole dad. And he is sitting out on the beach with Jasmine and she's saying, give me some lotion for the baby, because she wants to absolutely make sure that we see that she is pregnant. And he said, God, you look like you got a beer belly. And the way he said it, it was like he was so turned off by her. He just seems like, at first I thought that he was going to go down a rabbit hole with, body shaming her because she's fat. She talked about how big her breasts were, but she also, it did not go unnoticed that none of her family and none of his family know that they're expecting a baby. So if they didn't see, Jasmine said that she's ashamed, but I wonder if Matt is too. And so, he, gives her some ribs and she's eating the ribs. And I think that they did that, because she says she's a vegan. And if she was really a vegan, she would have never ate that pork because that pork would have broke her out all up and down and all around, all up down to the face, the mouth, and everything else. If you have ever been off of pork, and okay, and I'm just talking about my experience and experience of people that I know. If you have been off of pork, and those was pork ribs. You've been off of pork, you're going to break out. You are not going to have a happy time eating no pork. But Jasmine is sitting there devouring, and I think they thought that it was going to be cute and endearing, and it just wasn't, right? Because she was eating like, some type of. Anyway, they're sitting in there talking about the baby, and he is, saying that, this is a major adjustment and all of that kind of stuff, right? This is not what he thought his life was going to be. Okay. But Jasmine is fertile myrtle. And I would never want to have, and this is just my opinion, I would never want to have a baby with a woman who could up and leave her children for years. And we don't ever hear Jasmine talk about wanting to get her kids again. We don't hear her talk about unification. We don't hear her talking about flying out to Panama just to see and hug her kids. But yet and still, she wants us to be, loving and kind to her when here she is, a married woman sleeping with a single man and have bringing a baby in, only to tell her husband, who she's separated from, that she's pregnant and this is over for them. She is just one of those move along type of girls, and there are words and descriptions for women that are like her, and I won't get into it tonight. But there's nothing endearing about Jasmine, in my humble opinion. I'm not, I could care less about her. So anyway, she is sitting there, and they're talking about, that they're going to be getting a sonogram on the baby and stuff like that. When she starts eating the pork ribs, she says that, the baby is moving and all of that kind of stuff, probably because you starving them. Then she goes into talking about all of the plastic surgery that she has. She said that her teeth were not even real, but we could tell. It ain't no big deal. But she starts talking about all the plastic surgery that she's had on her and stuff like that, right? And so, this is why I think that she gets with men so that they can continue to afford her a lifestyle of just being home. And I think that, Jasmine uses her fertility to get pregnant. I don't even think that Jasmine we even really gave Gino a chance. She seems like the woman to me, and it's from my observation over the years, that she would be using, some type of pill or something like that to make sure that she isn't pregnant, like right up underneath your nose. I think that if she really wanted to give Gino a baby, she could have. Or then again, there could be something wrong with Gino. Right. And then to hurt somebody and then just turn your back on them the way that Jasmine did, you got to really be a ruthless gutter snipe in order to do that. Love you too, Dolphin. And thank you so much for the 199 super chat. Thank you, love. Thank you, love. So, she is, not feeding the baby anything. Anyway, her and Matt eventually make it to a sonogram center or ultrasound center so that they can see the baby. And they're in the waiting room, and Matt is talking about the fact that he does not want a little girl. Jasmine is telling him that she believes she's having a girl. Matt is insistent that it is a boy. And so, a lot of couples go through stuff like that. It was just different with Matt because he didn't want anything to do with the girl. and he said he wanted his first baby to be a boy. And a lot of men, and even in some religions, it's an honor from God, right, to have a son first, to be, your first child and stuff. And I don't know, how deep that runs with Matt, but Matt absolutely did not want a little girl. And he said that, he has no relation with them. He doesn't know how to treat them. He feels like the little baby will get over on him and stuff like that. And so he wants a little boy who he can more closely relate with, go fishing and, go to the gym and do all of that kind of stuff. But how many of y'all know that you could do the same thing with a little girl? There's nothing that Matt talked about that he could not do having a little girl. And so, of course, they go to, have the sonogram, and the lady has, the image up on the screen, and then she gets to the genitalias and she says there's no weenus there. It is a little girl. And the disappointment that was on Matt's sunburned face. Like, why isn't he wearing sunblock? He's just not an attractive guy to me. I think, when you first look at him, you think you see some attractiveness, and then after you look, you blink your eye like that, or you blink it like really quick in, a millisecond, you realize Matt is just not attractive. um I don't think that Jasmine can probably attracted men, right? Because they see what she is and who she is, in my opinion, straight off the gate. But anyway, so Matt is stuck with her now, and he is disappointed that they are having a girl. And Jasmine feels some kind of way about it and was like, are you going to still love the baby? And it appears from the Instagram reels that he loves the baby. But you know what? Even that can be pretend. So I don't know, what's real and what's not real in a relationship. Y'all know what I have noticed? I noticed that we have not seen Tiger Lily and Adnan. I wonder whether or not, there's something in his culture that says that the baby has to be under police protection, maybe the first year of the baby life. Like, we saw the baby be born and stuff like that, and we heard Tiger Lily and them saying the baby has so much hair. We saw all the prayers and stuff that was going forth, but we have not seen this couple, and I don't know what's going on with it. The next couple that I want to talk about is Jovi and Yara. Yara has decided that she wants to go to Lake Placid and go skiing and all of that kind of stuff. And, she ends up having a conversation with Lauren. They meet at a little restaurant. And so Lauren, confronts her. They start talking about her and Elizabeth, and how Elizabeth said that, that Yara is the one who told her that Andre um, was a horrible person. And so when Lauren brings it up to Yara is like, well, I don't remember saying anything like that. I was talking about the girlfriend that was sitting at the table. So how did Elizabeth misinterpret what you said? Yara, that's what you said. Like, ain't nobody giving you the benefit of the doubt, because you know what, you was stirring the pot. You was mad, probably about something. I don't know what it was, all y'all little petty women. But Lauren absolutely confronted it, right? And so Yara is like, well, I want us all to be friends and stuff like that. I got a lot of work I need to do. I just don't remember having that conversation with Libby. So would Libby make that up? Now I know Libby has a problem. Libby's real problem with Lauren was the way that Lauren's girlfriend talked to her husband. Okay, we already know that that's what it was. But now here we are, okay, and the two of them are at war with one another. And Yara wants to go to Lake Placid. She wants to try to butter up her husband so that he does not go back to Louisiana, and live where he really wants to live, and probably feels like, financially it's a better choice for us to live there. But Yara is adapted and accustomed to that Miami life now. And so it's going to be very hard for him to get her to change her mind about living there anymore. And so anyway, she says, well, Lauren, would you be willing to go to Lake Placid and let's just work on it? Why can't we just be friends? Yara said that Ukrainian women are different from American women because, they scrap a dap, dap, dap. They say what they got to say. They scrap a dap, 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 and then they friends again. And you know what? There are some friendships, right? As I was coming up, well, no, because once we went to war like that, it just wasn't over. But we have arguments and stuff like that as American women. Women are women, and we are all basically the same no matter where you live, okay, in this world, like straight up. So did that offend me? No, but I just thought it was a stupid thing for her to say. So she calls Lauren on the phone after she's already had this. I mean, she calls Libby on the phone after she's already had this conversation with Lauren, and she wants Libby to come, to Lake Placid with them. And she feels like she's going to be the mediator between the two. I think that this is war. Libby says that she's never been like in an argument or anything like this, and she don't be fighting with people. Yes, she do. She fight with her sisters. She fight with her own blood. She argues with her own blood. She starts problem with her own blood. Like, we remember. I don't know why they don't think that we don't have long memories, but we do. We pay attention to everything that is being said. But anyway, I digress. So, Libby is trying to say that, she has to talk to Andre in order to make a decision about going. We know that they're going to be going, right? And so, I mean, that just is what it is. This is all written in the script. This is all so scripted. For them to even be having this argument and stuff like that is scripted. They have to always, as I always say, call someone to be the villain and someone to be the victim in every story. And sometimes life does not play out like that. There are friends that you can have, and you can have them for a very long time without having to fall out over your husbands. Okay. Andre ain't about nothing anyway. So, I mean, what? Then we have Brandon and Julia. They have showed their complete in front of Julia's parents. And it's so disappointing that neither one of them, Brandon or nor Julia, have the maturity to play cute in front of the parents. Neither has Brandon's parents. And it's so embarrassing as an American. Julia loves to argue with Brandon. I think that is the way that she feels loved. I think that that's the way that she shows love. Now, we all know that right now Julia is pregnant. The baby is probably already born. But the way that she has acted, her and Brandon, around her parents has just been absolutely disgusting and embarrassing. To allow them to see all this warfare, conflict, and confusion in your relationship, and that y'all just really not there. Julia decides that she's going to tell her parents at the very last minute after they've come for a ceremony that she wants to go on this trip. Every time she is supposed to have this baby or something, she has a way of trying to blackmail Brandon into doing something that she wants him to do in order to just go and have surgery, take a sonogram, do anything. She had to bring her parents over there. Like, he's the dummy. Because either she's going to get pregnant or she's not. Either she's going to have the baby or she's not. And we saw that she did. She had a place in Russia, an apartment in Russia, and her father had explained to us that a lot of Russian women keep a side apartment just in case their relationship and stuff, like, doesn't work out. I wonder where the mother and the father live, because it was amazing to me, right? So we know that Julia's mom and dad have divorced. I don't know whether or not this was there was another reason why, because they don't seem like they hate each other at all. They seem like they're very unified. Their body language, they're always touching on each other's bodies with their bodies. Like, there's certain things that, I've been picking up, and I know if I'm picking it up, y'all are picking it up too. This couple ain't got no problems. When they first came there and they were at the hotel, y'all remember that the first night they came in and they were at the same hotel. And they made such a big deal about them not sleeping together. But they sitting on sofas together. They sitting up underneath each other together. They making decisions together. They talking about together. Like ain't nothing going on with this daggone couple. They look like they just a husband and a wife. I mean, like everything that they've thought and everything, like they've talked this all out with one another. Like they together. They probably in Russia living together. I mean, hell, when they said something about the hotel room, I was like, well, didn't they fly together? It seems like if there was some conflict or something going on between the two of them, that they wouldn't even have flown on the same flight together. Let alone to wait on at the turnstile at the airport for their luggage to come around and go from here and there. And then Brandon and Julia are talking about having financial issues when they have gone from compared to where they live. I believe they probably flew into Dallas because Dallas is the airport in our particular area that does international flights. Okay. They stayed in DC. That's hotel money. They left there. They went home for a couple of days. Then they went down to Florida. They down in Florida doing what they do downtown in Florida. They fly back up and now they going to New York. Where all this money coming from that Julia now has to make a decision that she's going to tour the world and her and Brandon going to be broke? She wants Brandon to make a decision. She said, if you allow me to spend all this money to fly to wherever I want to fly to, because she said they need to have a vacation, which means that she wants to get back on some tabletops one last time before she have a baby. Because y'all know Julia will get up on the tabletop and dance, honey, go strip it down a pole and some more stuff on Brandon's dime. And he'll sit there and act like he upset about it. And next thing you know, they lovey-dovey. This is a toxic relationship between the two of them because they allowed the parents to see it. And I just think that your relationship got to really be out of control if you cannot, for a couple of days, act like you got some sense. The mother was like, I'm feeling horrible. I feel insecure. My nerves is a wreck because I didn't know y'all it was this messed up. Then they go down to take the parents to go and see Brandon's parents before they leave, and they down there arguing down there, and Julia walks away because she is trying to stand there, and the thing she stands there right and is trying to explain to them why it's important for her to sell her apartment, and you can see the father's disappointment to sell her apartment so she can travel. And Brandon said he got a job. Maybe he got some PTO. I don't know what it is that he has that he's going to be able to take off all this time. And then she said, and then she will go and have the surgery done. I would even like if I gotta make up stuff and barter and bargain and flip a coin to get you to do something that we agreed that we would do. I would. That's why I believe that this is all scripted because Julia just knows that they had already settled. I don't think that Brandon is in fear of losing his job or anything like that. And then they make Brandon's mom and dad, which is very easy for the mom, Miss Betty, to be the hard ones. But Julia's mother told her, "I want you to have a baby too." I just ain't gonna press you about it. I ain't gonna embarrass you, make you look stupid, but whatever. This was absolutely an episode that they just could have left off. Like I said, it wasn't even a filler episode. It just was some trash. It's nothing going on with these couples. I just what? What was this? Yeah. Okay. So do I. Okay. It's just a messy. The show is becoming very messy and very very scripted. I don't like the fact that we going back and we have already know what the conclusion is, that Julia's having a baby, but we sitting up here arguing about it. It's just like the math ain't math and it just doesn't make sense. I don't know why TLC does these shows like this. I think they do it like this because they know we're gonna watch anyway. And we're at the point where we just giving them and allowing them to give us any old kind of crap they want to give us. I don't even remember if there was another couple on the show, y'all. And that frankly, at this point, I just don't care. I think that, Julia walking away, she needs to walk away. And if I was Brandon, I'd be walking away a couple of times too. Anyway, that is the end of my review. I love y'all. I ain't gonna hold y'all no longer. I need to go and doctor this sore throat or whatever's going on with me. I love y'all so much. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that every time I go live, you go live right along with me. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.